Welcome to another episode of Twisted Metal Companion. I'm Peter. Over to my right, I have Tyler. How you doing, Tyler?
Doing pretty good.
All right, and below us, I believe on your guys' screen, we have Radic, aka Real Radic, on YouTube. How you doing, sir?
Not too bad. Thank you for having me, and I'm excited to talk more Twisted Metal all the time.
Yes, 100%. Well, for those that are tuning in for the first time and is just discovering us, Radic has his own YouTube channel and does really great videos. He provides us the Easter eggs for our episode breakdowns. We're still in season one. I think we've only done three episodes. But we will definitely be catching up prior to the release of season two. At least that's the hope. I do cover other shows as well, and I'm still kind of finishing up some of those. But today we're going to be talking about season two updates that came out recently via IGN. Um, off the bat, we also have a release date. If you guys have not heard, it is July 31st. So this summer is when season two will drop. Not only that, we got two additional episodes. So season one had 10 episodes, season two has 12. That one I don't believe was in the article, but I actually found out via MJ Smith, the showrunner. Radek, did you catch that?
No, no, that's news to me.
Yeah.
That's really
So
exciting. Okay.
yes, and I don't know if the episodes are longer or if they're the same. If they're the same, roughly 30 minutes. So we're looking at 6 hour season two, so really exciting stuff. In this article, we have 11 new images. We're not gonna break them down, but we'll talk about like who is pictured. If anybody doesn't know who some of these characters uh, the actors that were cast as these people. So we're just going to give you guys a bit of an update, not totally a deep dive. Radic, are you planning to do? I'm sorry, I'm behind on things, so I'm not sure if you've done anything for season two yet.
So when the first trailer dropped, I did a whole breakdown analysis video on it, and I was thinking about doing another video on this article, but I think now I'm just gonna wait until like the next big trailer, have information from this article, and do like another proper breakdown. Just to have like some a little bit more to go off of in terms of like visuals. But yeah, I'm very looking forward to making way more content about season two in the coming months for sure.
Completely unrelated, but for those that are tuning in at home via a podcast, you guys aren't seeing this, but Redick has like the season one poster, and you got
Uh,
Agent Stone just right behind him too. So it's actually kind of cool. We did see Agent Stone in the couple teasers that has already been out. Um, Tyler, let's start off with you. When this article dropped, we also got a brief teaser and like all these new images. What was something that excited you, or just tell me what was exciting to see?
digging into the article like right off the bat, Anthony Mackie's talking about the tournament this season, and he refers to how everyone is a villain. So I
Mm,
think we'll see a little less teaming up and more, conniving. I think this season.
yeah. What about you, Radek?
Mm, well, Mr. Grimm for sure. Just seeing more shots of him because it's just like he's like probably other than Sweet Tooth my favorite Twisted Metal character. So just getting more context for like his role because the way they describe it, he's like I thought he would be more aligned with Calypso, but as Tyler said, this is the tournament season, and it feels like everyone is looking out for themselves because, as you know, if you played the games, Calypso hosts the Twisted Metal tournament. The grand prize is one wish of anything you want, doesn't matter how outlandish the request is. So yeah, I'm so curious to see Mr. Grimm, his backstory, if he's really supernatural, if it's just a facade he's playing because in the games there's very like each Twisted Metal game has a different spin on things. And Twisted Metal Black, he was like some crazy cannibal, no supernatural elements at all. In some versions, he's literally the Grim Reaper. So I'm very curious to see what this interpretation of Mr. Grimm is going to be.
Yeah, and if we picked up anything with season one, like Twisted Metal Black was kind of like their basis for a lot of the characters, especially the looks. So season two, we're gonna get wishes. We don't know how they're gonna do those. Will the characters get their wishes after like the first off the tournament? Like that's gonna be the most exciting thing for me. Like how are they gonna pull that off? Um, because the season one focused on so much of the world building. What are we doing exactly in season two? Because Tyler, like you mentioned, everybody is basically considered a villain. Let's just go over the cast list real quick according to this article. And you guys, it's IGN. It's very much worth a read through. There's a lot of details in it. We're just going to go over some of the more exciting stuff. So the season two cast, and this isn't the full one. At this time there's people they're holding back from, and there's probably going to be people from season one that will return, and I don't know if they just don't have a bigger role or whatnot, but um obviously returning we have Anthony Mackie, Stephanie Beatriz, Samoa Joe, the newcomer. So they also have Mike Mitchell returning in this list as well, so that's interesting because I wonder if Taj Vaughns is also going to be back as Mike, right? Because if the last time we saw Mike and Stu, they're being like dragged or yeah,
Yeah,
so
I think Mike is with us in our hearts, you know. I think that's what's what's it's gonna be. Yeah.
in spirit, yeah.
Yep.
Um, so Calypso, Anthony Kerrigan. So we got two Anthonys. So I'll try to maybe I'll go by last names if referencing either of the actors, but he will be playing Calypso. In the first season, the body double was played by Jared Bankins, aka Agent. Blanking on the name. Jared Bankins, Agent Shepard.
Oh,
Shepard, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Agent Shepard,
From
yeah, yeah. So
Twisted
he,
Metal Head On. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so he was the stand-in for that sequence at the end there. Newcomer. So again, probably a stand-in in the first season because we saw her briefly, but cast in season two as Dollface is Tiana Okoye. And in this article, it is revealed that she does get a name, Krista, Krista with a K, and so that does humanize her a little bit more. Not to say like she was anything supernatural because John, he had amnesia, and she looks like she's been out here in the streets doing the damn thing. And so that's gonna be interesting to see that the family dynamic between the two. It looks like she's been kind of surrounding herself in this community of the dolls, and I think that's one of the pictures is where we see Wyatt with a bunch of women, and I think that's where she's been during this time. And I don't believe the article mentions it at all, and I didn't really see this anywhere, albeit I haven't really done like a deep dive. I do feel there's going to be a bit of a time jump because I feel unless they do it like in the first couple of episodes, I feel if we pick up in Quiet's already with the dolls community, like I feel there's going to be a bit of a time jump from the last time we saw everybody. But also, were you about to say something?
oh, yeah. The article mentioned like refers to her as one of Krista's key lieutenants. So I would
Right.
assume, it's definitely a good time, in the future.
Yeah, because also Krista Dollface, she is very well aware of who Quiet is, and the fact that she at least knows about her brother John. So we did get that at the end of season one. Uh, what's great is after this article dropped, I don't want to point or name names, but yeah, there's some people in the pictures that has like found the Instagram account too. So I've been getting some follows from people from the show, so that's been really exciting. Um, Calypso. Oh, so I don't. Did I finish that list? No, I didn't finish the list. I'm jumping all around here, you guys. Patty Guggenheim plays Raven. In this article, it says that Nev Campbell played like I don't know if they said it was a different version of Raven, but it's not the real Raven.
Yeah, so the way they
Thoughts on that?
explained it, the way this was really weird to me. 'Cause like when I first read it, I was like, all right, this is definitely they if they somehow managed to get Nev Campbell back for season two, they would not have gone this route with the Raven character. That's like my take. But I think it's like a cool compromise. So their idea is that there are multiple Ravens who work for Calypso in
Hmm.
different cities. So I assume there's one in Chicago, one in New San Francisco. played by Nev Campbell in season one, and this is like the real Raven in quotes. So this will be the one that has the classic Twisted Metal Black backstory with Kelly. There's a cute Kelly's Bar reference in season one, but I feel like season two will finally explore that dynamic between the real Raven and her desire to bring back Kelly from the dead, which I assume will be her wish for winning the tournament in season two.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Kelly drowned in one of the games.
Yep, they were being bullied by a group of boys, and then things escalated, and I think the boys are just trying to prank Kelly or something. She ends up drowning, and that causes Raven's motivation.
Yeah, I know there was a few things that was mentioned in the article that really made me kind of question some things coming up. I think we touched on the lieutenant part. I think that was one of them where I'm like, oh, that means that Quiet spent a little bit of time with the dolls. Calypso, let's talk about that teaser a little bit. In this article, MJ, the showrunner, he says he's got a little bit of P.T. Barnum in him where he loves to have those twists. And there's the teaser where we get the reveal of the date, release date for season two, where they're like in this sort of warehouse, and in the background you see Sweet Tooth, also Raven. She is really blurry, so is it looks like Raven. It's really hard to say, but it made me think like, is she a competitor? Is she going to be racing? So that's the whole that's the thing that's really throwing me off, that the fact that there were the two Ravens, because one kind of ran like New San Francisco, and then we have one where Patty Guggenheim, she's pictured like in front of this board with like a bunch of headshots, probably for possible, drivers or something like that. So I'm trying to figure out how like her hand in the tournament, if she's a driver, or is she working for Calypso, which this sounds like it kind of is according to the article. But a lot of great things here. Uh and in that teaser, there's like I don't know if it's the reveal of Calypso, but Quiet and John Doe, they're talking, and then like these big doors are opening up really slowly, and Calypso's like just standing on the outside. And there's talk about like, oh, we're really gonna do this, like, just gonna wait for him to open up the door. But to be fair, if you really look at the teaser, there's like two people like pushing the doors open. So it's not like automatic. I mean, you just gotta wait for these guys to open up the doors. So, but I did joke that I feel that it'd be kind of funny if Calypso just continues to stand out there, and then those two are just kind of like, so I guess we walk to him, and then there's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, kind of like the mile walk of like, them going up to him. So that'd be kind of funny. Any other kind of comments on Calypso?
I actually really like that clip because Calypso is a showman, right? He's a showboater. He likes to entertain. He's insane, of course, but I'm very excited to see Anthony Carrigan's portrayal of Calypso. Just like with every other Twisted Metal character, each game it has like a different spin on the character. And along with Sweet Tooth and Mr. Grimm, Calypso is part of the is one of the three Twisted Metal characters that have appeared in every video game. So if there's a Twisted Metal game, Calypso's in it. So he's an immensely important character to the lore. And yeah, I'm very curious to see if he's really like the question with Mr. Grimm. Is he supernatural? Can he really grant you any wish? Like like I think season one did a great job with world building, but season two has a lot more questions to be answered now. So
Yeah.
I really hope we get some flashback sequences like in season one with Agent, like the amazing cold open with Agent Stone uh during the 2003, I think it was like an EMP blast or something like that. That's what it was referring to. So I really hope we get some Calypso backstory and
Oh
see
yeah.
what he did in those 20 years.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the picture of Dollface because we were just talking about her, and I like how she's got these ribbons with keys on it. So it's probably, like she's racing people instead for pink slips, or I mean, she's probably getting pink slips as well, but are also her little trophies, the keys under the ribbon. So that's a good look. I like that.
Yeah,
Um,
her design is very Twisted Metal Black.
Yeah,
The
okay.
Dollface Gang is like a aspect from Twisted Metal 2012, the PS3 game. So I love how they're combining like all the variations of
Yeah.
Dollface and all the characters really, and combining them
Okay.
into their own interpretation.
When did Twisted Metal Black come out? Because I thought maybe the Twisted
2001,
Metal 2001. Oh, okay. And the one in 2012 was just straight up called Twisted Metal.
just Twisted Metal.
Okay, that's so confusing. So I didn't know there was a difference. I thought 2012 was black. So that's
No,
okay.
no,
So
yeah.
my mistake. Wow. Okay, so I graduated the year black came out, I think.
I
Yeah, and then
was 3 years old.
don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm
Because I know
sorry, guys.
you're a lot younger,
Jeez.
don't you?
Yeah, made me feel old. I was 11.
Yeah, Tyler's younger than me. Okay. So there was also something that MJ said in this article. He says she's just as violent in some ways, and we like seeing a little bit of the things that make them the same, but also she's much more willing to get into the battle. So again, she's kind of more seasoned out there in the streets. You know, John Doe has amnesia, so he's kind of like relearning everything, I guess. But so yeah, she's not afraid to get her hands dirty. She's killing folks. So that's just to kind of give a little insight between um those two and their possible dynamic. I'm trying to see if there's anything else before we move it along. Did you guys have anything else to add to Raven? Well, I the only other, go ahead, Tyler.
Oh yeah, I'm interested to see how they like how they do that transition. Like what do they say happened to Nev Campbell's, Raven?
Yeah, was she an imposter or just kind of like answering that question because like that was Raven. She had a Kelly bar, right? So so yeah,
Yeah,
it'll
the
be
necklace from
She's,
Twisted Metal Black,
she
right,
like
right.
the exact same one.
she seemed very
Yeah.
much in charge. So
Yeah, and so it will be interesting to see how Patty plays her. So my only other tidbit I have to add because I don't think there was anything else I saw in the article other than what we've already kind of discussed. But I got the chance to meet Patty in LA just last month at the Growlings. So I got to watch her perform. Incredibly funny. Just great vibes when I met her afterwards. You know, she I think recognized me from from the Instagram and we chatted for a few minutes. So really excited to see her as Raven. Um, Here's is another kind of big question mark, because I don't know what's going on between Quiet and John because they were paired up in the first season. In the second season, we got Quiet with a new character by the name of Mayhem, played by Sailor Kurta. Radic, is this an original character?
Original character, never been in the games. When the first teaser dropped, like in February, early March, I can't remember. I thought this character was going to be Krista Sparks from
mm,
Twisted Metal 2, who's like Calypso's daughter. But apparently I was wrong. This is a new character named Mayhem. And the article describes Mayhem as like a little sister slash sidekick to
Yeah.
Quiet, like the Robin to her Batman. So I'm very curious to see their dynamic and how they meet and what they're up to.
What I do like is the article quotes Stephanie Beatrice saying, not to put too fine a point on it, but she's a little piece of shit. She's a talker. She lies through her teeth. She's a teenager in this world. So she's grown up inside the world of Twisted Metal. She doesn't really remember anything before. She's really learned how to survive in this world, but I also think Quiet sees that she has a lot of potential, meaning that she's smart, she learns quickly, and once she is able to listen, then Quiet can really take her under her wing and teach her quite a bit. So I do wonder where her parents are, where her parents killed and Quiet was there and feels a little bit of responsibility to kind of take her along. Uh, because why otherwise, right? Because I don't, unless we get an explanation in season two, Quiet seemed like she kind of wanted to be on her own after the death of her brother, so it's going to be a little interesting. And you know what, like who doesn't love like a kind of a like an odd couple buddy road trip type dynamic, so I'm here for it, the different generations. And so that will
mhm.
be really interesting and definitely a lot of room for some comedy with that type of pairing. Um Now, here's another kind of question mark. Radek, again, you're kind of a resident expert on the video games. The character of Vermin, as I understand it,
Yes,
Vermin is a
yes.
vehicle, and here is played by the also beautiful and hilarious Lisa Gilroy, who I know more mostly from Jury Duty, right? Jury Duty, is that right?
Yeah, the show.
Okay, right. Okay, so jury duty, but also like I just love a lot of her reels on Instagram, which I'm sure is all over YouTube and stuff as well, just super hilarious. But yeah, she plays this character of Vermin, and I don't know if she's siphoning gas or whatever, but the picture of her, she doesn't look like anything like the actress. Obviously Lisa, like when you usually see her, she has, you know well, is a different type of makeup, but Vermin is looked to be dirty, maybe possibly like mechanic, but she's wearing, like the digital camo that the army, used to wear as well. So, um, thoughts on Vermin there?
I was so shocked because this is like I feel like I would consider it a deep cut because just to give the viewers context for Twisted Metal 2012, which was the PS3 game, in all the other previous Twisted Metal games, a character was assigned to one specific vehicle. So you have, let's say, John Doe, Roadkill, right? So if you play as John Doe, the only vehicle you're going to use in that game, Twisted Metal Black, will be Roadkill. You can't be like John Doe using Sweet Tooth's ice cream truck, or John Doe using Mr. Grimm's motorcycle. Twisted Metal 2012, it's different. You're playing as the gang members, right? So you got the clowns, the dolls, the Reapers. I can't remember what Mr. Grimm's gang was called. The Preachers. Shout out to Jason Mantzoukas. I wish he was in season two so bad.
Yeah,
It's like,
Coke Jesus. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
Tyler and I had the chance to see recently. How did this get made? Did a live show here in Portland, so had a good time, and yeah, super hilarious guy.
yeah, fantastic. I'm gonna miss him so much in season two. He was fantastic. But yeah, so in that game, one of the vehicles you could play as is Vermin, which is like some pest exterminator, uh kind of like a white van, or like a van, I should say. I'm not a car guy, which is so funny that I like Twisted Metal. But and like he Vermin had cool specials where you can like actually control and guide a missile, so you can like go up in the air, look for vehicles on the map, manually target, and if you manage to hit it, you get like bonus damage. So yeah, seeing Vermin in the show, really cool deep cut. And this is like, you know, now we're getting a specific driver attached to this vehicle. So it's like that's like a cool little piece of lore building.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm mistaken. It is not the digital camo. I had to really look close, but um, doesn't look like she's siphoning. She was probably just filling up this tank with gasoline, and so there's looks like some sort of comical exchange between her and another driver. Clearly, so possibly an exterminator. This van, you only see a little bit of it, but it looks like the exterminator is like a 24-hour service too. So um. I kind of like that idea. So, kind of wonder, yeah, if she's gonna be like a small bit character or if she's gonna have like something kind of meaningful. So that'll be interesting to see. What about we've kind of talked a little bit about her, but what did you guys anything quiet? So I want to get to quiet. Was there anything that's stuck out to you guys, whether in the article or like the pictures? I think we got at least two. Yeah, because her and Mayhem, and then her with the dolls, who I'm assuming are the dolls.
Yeah, the article states that she's John's ex-girlfriend. I think that's
Mm.
overstating their relationship.
Yeah, they slept together twice, that, but they never made it official.
Yeah.
Just went on a date, watched Blank Man, and
If that's, in the post-apocalypse, if that's enough to consider a relationship, I guess.
okay. Yeah, one person that I was a little surprised that we didn't get too much about. Well, we got enough, just as much as the other people, but Sweet Tooth, we have a picture. I don't know if he's like in mid performance, but he's wearing like some sort of cape.
It's so
And
cool, dude. I love
yeah,
it so much. I like Sweet Tooth with a cape was not something I ever thought I needed in my life. But
yeah.
after seeing that picture, I'm like, yeah, that looks rad.
It feels
And
like yeah, they know they don't need to release too much, for
yeah,
just an
fair
image.
enough. And well, but also Samoa Joe and I think I saw it somewhere else too, but we did get a close up of his other eye
Mhm.
and it looks like they used the baseball
Really
and
cool.
yeah, really
Yeah.
cool look. And I believe Liz Festola is back as custom designer, so we'd love to speak with her about this stuff. Um, so yeah, we got the little bit of Sweet Tooth who he did have the first kind of a teaser poster, him in his vehicle with the like somebody's hand with the two fingers on teaser
Yeah.
two. So that was really cool. John has a really cool photo of himself. He's just standing, he's holding a gun kind of in this field with a bunch of abandoned vehicles,
With his
possibly trying to
Nikes. Yep.
yeah, yep. And looks like it's still pretty clean. So he's keeping those in good condition in the apocalypse. So
Yeah.
good for him. Maybe he found some cleaners. Um This is I feel like since Quiet seemingly moved on, she's got like a Robin to her Batman now. I think John, like that was the only person he really knew. And so maybe he's spending some time trying to get back into her like, good graces and team up or something like that. I think there's gonna be a little bit of that, just kind of my guess. Um so we talked about Sweet Tooth, Mr. Grimm. So briefly about him. Um, right, there was something that I saw about one of his wishes, and shout outs to I'll just say his first name only, but Gabe, who also I believe has a YouTube channel. He tagged me in a reel that he made in response to like some of these images and such, and he also revealed like some of the wishes from the games. And there's a wish where Mr. Grimm has to go back and save his dad.
That was Twisted Metal 2012, the PS3 game.
Okay. Yeah,
Really
and
cool
so
backstory. Yeah.
interestingly, because like the game, he's supernatural, so he does not have the powers to bring back the dead, I'm assuming.
In Twisted Metal 2012, that's definitely the most grounded the character has ever been. So he's
Mm,
not the literal Grim Reaper. He just has like face paint that looks like a
right.
skull. Uh, and like in Twisted Metal 2, he's literally like pretty much the Grim Reaper. And
I see.
his motivation in Twisted Metal 2 is like, I want all the souls, like Calypso, I want to kill everyone so I can feed on their souls. And then he gets that wish, but then there's no one else to kill. So he's just like an
Yeah.
addict trapped in eternity with like no souls left to collect, which is the classic monkey's paw wish from Twisted Metal.
Does his character speak?
Oh yeah,
Okay, he does speak. So
yeah.
I wonder if this character will speak. Like, is he going to be kind of like a mass vigilante of sorts? Will we see him without the helmet, kind of like Dollface? Like we know that we're going to see Dollface unmasked because, well, not just because she has the name Krista, but we did see
In the
another
trailer.
teaser.
Yeah.
Right, right. A few months ago, where we do see Krista and John together, both unmasked, and that teaser trailer alone told me that oh yeah they're so much alike, kind of their reaction to whatever the hell was happening. They were both very startled and scared, and so I can't wait to see those two together. Yeah, Mr. Grimm, big question mark. Excited to see him just because I love that look. Okay, talked about Raven, talked about Vermin, Mayhem. Okay, hold on one second. Yes. Okay. All right. And now I don't know if I don't think it's the elephant in the room, but one character that a lot of people are really wanting to see, a fan favorite of sorts, is Axel. So Axel does get a mention in here, but they do not list the actor's name. And so I do wonder why are they keeping that a secret? Like we did see in the teaser trailer, a little bit of Axel like kind of putting his arm into like the wheel or whatever, and it kind of like doing the transformer thing, right, where
Yeah,
he kind of
yeah,
becomes
yeah.
one with the so that I love the sound effects of that. And if I believe it was James Cornell who did sound design, so if it's him again, I would love I just love the ASMR like sound of that, the clicking, the mechanical, like all of that. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
love that sound. But can't wait to see that. In this article, they mentioned War Wheel. We discussed it just briefly right before we started recording. You guys want to comment on what they said about Axel?
Yeah,
Uh,
they just kind of mentioned that, a lot of the effects are going to be practical, including the war wheel, which I didn't know, but Radek mentioned that it's a special or like a finisher, type thing from
yeah.
which one? Do you remember?
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like they really kind of drill home that like they're looking for trying to do practical effects. They're trying to make it, look good. Because I think if you're familiar with the games, just seeing the design of Axel, trying to imagine that represented in real life, it's like, well, obviously they're going to use CG because they're not going to go through the trouble of putting a guy in between two, giant tires.
Well,
But
according to this article,
it looks like they're
yeah,
going to do
right,
it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I was already excited to see Axel, like before, just when they announced that he was going to be in it. But now, so excited to see how they pull it off and how it looks.
Yeah, it's wild that practical effects is still like more cost effective than it is like visual effects, but I believe it. And I'm a big fan of practical effects anyway. That's the stuff I grew up on television screens. Um, so it says, how do you do a character that is literally a giant muscular man stuck between two gigantic wheels? You look at the design, you say how, and then after you ask why, and then I think it was a challenge. Let me see, blah, 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 blah. So when Axel moves at high speed, it's visual effect. Um, MJ, the showrunner, says this, and he wanted the reveal of Axel to be the series showstopper moment. So I hope they don't wait until episode 5, or I guess it would be 6 if we have 12. Showstopper, like for some reason, that almost screams to me as like a mid-season finale.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, you guys too? Okay, damn it. I don't want to have to wait that long. So hopefully we get to meet like the character soon enough. But like reveal is like, oh, hell yes, LFG, episode 7 or something like that, right?
Oh,
So that's
yeah,
kind of what I'm
I'll be
getting.
happy if it's like mid-season, like, oh, here's kind of a big, moment. Were they to do a normal like mid-season break or something, that would be kind of that moment you go out on. But I'm more fearful that it's going to be like we introduce Axel in episode, 10, and
No.
like he's, here's the big reveal of the final like, entrant or whatever. Like, but I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not as well. Because there was something I think another article was saying like um I don't know if they're gonna be like dragging anything out, playing the long game with some of this stuff. I think we built the world just enough that in season 2 it's just like balls to the wall. We're just gonna jump right into it. I hope that's what's gonna happen. Because I think with season 1 you had to kind of buy into this new world, the DSA, right? The Divided States of America. And once you're in it, and if you're along for the ride for season 2, you're gonna get what like if you're a fan of Twisted Metal, that's what you're gonna get with season 2. Um, there is another bit here. We'll get ready to wrap up here. And we'll anything else you guys last thoughts or whatever here in a bit. But in this article, it also says that Sweet Tooth kind of discovers that he is not the baddie, or he is a baddie of sorts, but there's another person that he's kind of competing, essentially for like this title role. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? Do you remember reading that at all? I can look
I
for
do.
it real quick.
I do remember that part, and I'm wondering if it's like there's other killers, or like so are they just being like vague? It's like, oh, like I want to be the best serial killer in America. That's my dream. That's my wish for the tournament. Or is there like, are they going to introduce a character specifically to rival Sweet Tooth, like to give him like a decent subplot for the season?
Yeah,
I'm one thing I'm very curious about Sweet Tooth. First thing, I'm also glad he's teaming up with Stu, because Stu played by Mike Mitchell,
yeah,
fantastic. Like probably the heart of the season 1 in my opinion.
yeah.
So good. R.I.P. Mike, of course. But Um,
We'll see. We'll see. It's a video game, you know.
yep. So, yeah, if we don't see them die, they're still alive. TV show
Absolutely.
rules. Yep.
Right. I mean,
But
Stu's still alive.
yeah, yeah, and who knows?
Or
Maybe Agent
yeah,
Stone could be alive. That's
it could be.
another loose thread we have.
We didn't see
But
the body.
exactly. But in I think it was episode 7, the amazing cold open where it's like the retro, like I think it's an 80s sitcom, the origin of
Oh, yep.
Sweet Tooth.
Marcus,
Amazing
yeah.
opening scene, Marcus. Yep. In that scene where he's arguing with his stepdad mentions like you would still be living with your deadbeat dad who's a cab driver, which is a direct reference to Yellow Jacket, which is like a taxi car in
Right.
Twisted Metal.
Not the TV show, right? Yellow
No,
Jackets.
not no, not completely unrelated. Like how the
Right,
Sweet
right.
Tooth show is unrelated to Sweet Tooth and Twisted Metal. But I really hope they expand on that. Like I would love to see Charlie Kane, Sweet Tooth's dad, in season 2. I think that would be a very funny comedy trio, like Stu,
Oh,
Sweet Tooth's dad. That would be like my Mo Curly and the other a third stooge, forgot
Larry.
his name.
Yeah.
Larry, there we go.
Right, because you're like 20 years old. Uh, um, yeah, the I forgot to mention Mr. Grimm is played by Richard either De Klerk or D Clerk. I will eventually learn that. My apologies. When you mentioned you said Charlie is Sweet Tooth's dad?
Harley Kane, Sweet Tooth's dad.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder if like what if he is like that other person where Sweet Tooth is like, oh, I got competition, but
Oh,
don't know that's his dad, and that's like a reveal.
yeah.
That
Oh,
might be
I
kind of
like that.
cool.
I like that.
Yeah. Um, I did have a another point based off of something that you had mentioned. I don't know if it was about the vehicles, but yeah, I guess the other thought that I had was like just kind of going over this article. I thought it was interesting because um they were setting up the world in season one, but they were also setting up these characters, especially if you are foreign to the video games. And so with season two, for the little bit that we got, the teasers, the pictures, this article, it almost looks like everybody if you thought Sweet Tooth was gonna be up here in the chain as like the bad guy, season two, they're all coming in on like equal footing. Like everybody, you're not any better than me, you're not any badder than me. This is a tournament run by Calypso. Like it's anybody's, race or whatever, and any new characters will be just as big and as bad as the people we have already met. So there's that to consider too. So that's super interesting because now you have who you thought are like, these violent drivers from season one. It's sorry, I was thinking about Cobra Kai and then like I lost my train of thought. But like in Cobra Kai, like in the final season, they were okay, underdogs. So like the people from season one, they're going into this tournament as underdogs, as we are going to meet like new people that are again kind of formidable foe to the people that we've already met. So really interesting. There is the thumbnail for the season two trailer, which we have already seen. They included it in the article, and I just love how Sweet Tooth is kind of like brushing, like the side of his hair with his machete. So that's what that teaser trailer was. It was kind of like a player's profile, a couple seconds of each of the characters. So that was really really cool to see as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think I've said just about everything I wanted to say. Final thoughts from you guys. Radic, let's start with you as our guest.
Could not be more excited. Season 1 was a shock of how much I liked it, how much I thought. Um, just watching season 1, you could just tell, like, all right, MJ, Jonathan Smith, clearly a fan of the franchise. Like, you don't just reference Twisted Metal Small Brawl, like the most forgotten Twisted Metal
Right.
game. Like, you got to be
It's
pretty
such
in the weeds.
the smallest of Easter eggs as well, which you caught. So that's pretty amazing. Just the little remote control vehicles in that cold open in episode three.
Yeah, like, and I just can't wait to see what little Easter eggs and references they have in season 2. But the show's credit, like I thought season 1 really had a lot of heart. I loved John Doe's journey of like trying to find family, trying to be accepted, and then he finally gets it, and then he realizes, oh no, the family I want is the one I had all along this journey. It's like it really was like it spoke to me, and I really there's like I think it was in the article or another article, but John it said like season one it was about John Doe finding family. Season two is about John knowing what it means to have a family.
Mm.
And I was like, oh wow, that's gonna be really good. Like I just can't wait to see what they got cooking up in season two.
Yeah, 100%, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm ready to go for season two. Like like you guys have said, like it was a surprise, how good the first season was. And since it came out, I don't think I've seen anyone commenting about, going into it blind and then coming away from it being like disappointed, or like,
Yeah.
even fans, not appreciating like how unique it is to have especially a video game based property that's just this kind of light and fun and violent and weird. I am worried because we haven't seen anything about Mr. Slam yet, being in season two. So I'm sweating that. But other than that, yeah, let's go.
I want to see Mr. Slam put a stop to Axel, just by whipping it out, and
Oh my
that's going to be
God.
like his like putting the foot in front of him, like knocking him over kind of thing, just pull
Or
that.
sweet tooth foe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for me, like I can't wait to see like the creativity in some of the character deaths. One of my favorite ones is still Agent Shepard by the hands of Quiet thereafter, like masturbating,
Yeah.
in Agent Stone's office. That's still one of my favorites. And the way he goes to the little yelp and all of that stuff. So okay, I guess we'll leave it right there. There's going to be plenty more to talk about before the show actually comes out. Much more. And yeah, the few people that follow me and interact with me, they're just excited. And can't wait to see what the fans have to say. So, I want to thank everybody for checking in, or tuning into this episode. Radek, thank you for joining us. And Radek, where can people find you on social media if you welcome the interaction?
Sure. Yeah. So you can follow me at Real Radic, all one word. And that is the same handle on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter/X, and Twitch. So I'm very thankful I managed to secure that handle on every social media platform. But yeah, that's the platform. Those are the platforms you can find me on. And yeah, Peter, Tyler, thank you guys so much for having me. Always down to talk Twisted Metal anytime.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and thank you. Let's go. Okay, all right. That's gonna do it. You guys can find me on social media at Twisted Metal Pod on X and Instagram. Tyler, what about you?
You can find me at 300 points on the Hell site and roar.bluesky dot whatever the hell, you can figure it out if you want to, on the better site.
Yeah. All right, you guys. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in.